I love how I have sound just in time for a train to come in behind me. We're live with the Metal Lab. It is the post U.S. Nationals event. I'm only joined this week by Jay, but he was in attendance. So as I flub my information, he'll be there to help us. How you doing,
Very
Jay?
good choice of words there. Attendance. Yeah.
Yeah, because Jay was judging for the event.
Unfortunately for
Yeah.
everybody else. What?
Tom was playing, couldn't end up making it to the show today, and Mike is still busy at work, so it's just the two of us working it out.
Yeah, but hopefully you have someone else for next week because bye.
Yeah, Jay's gonna have to go on hiatus for a little bit, so
Yep.
Jay is here post U.S. Nationals and to announce something big this week, which we'll get to in a second. Let's talk about U.S. Nationals because that is the thing that is fresh on everybody's mind. It was won, spoiler alert, by one Mr. Patrick Fraser. He won playing both Hawkeye and the Vulture. Why attack once when you can attack forever, right, guys? um, my updates were coming via guys on Facebook. Was very cool to keep up with that on other Facebook groups. Was Glickstoff was quite hopping with it. I was at the zoo on Father's Day watching the updates. I felt it's just like, oh, animal, yeah, okay, hold on, who? Oh, critical miss, what? It was interesting. A lot of interesting, cool teams that made it into the top eight, even top 32. All things considered. Jay, you were there and on the site though. What was it? What was the general atmosphere of the singles nationals?
What do you mean atmosphere?
What was? Geez, why do I have to explain myself every time I ask a question, Jay?
I don't know. Maybe I'll answer your next
I
question with
mean,
the question.
what were teams like? What did the meta was it
Oh,
wide
it was.
open? Come on.
I guess it was. I'm just trying to. If we're talking conventionality, it was like everything was there that was expected. Some archetypes a little bit more than others, and then some stuff completely out of nowhere. And then, of course, I mean, I don't know how sold people were on Kobik before this event, but I got to watch Easton play it in a grinder before, and it was something to behold. But yeah, there was what was it? There was I mean, obviously Vulture won. I think the only Avengers Hawkeye I saw was Howard Brock, but he wasn't running the conventional one. He was running a different version with a bunch of AIM dudes from the new set and the Chase Black Panther from the new set. So not even like the real builds that everybody's used to. What else? Fair. I guess yeah. Nobody expected the Kobik Trader because there were a bunch of One Man Army Unimines, which is basically was it Tom had to play all the One Man Army Unimines, and Emily had to play all the normal 150 Unimine Lockjaw whatever's. There were three Chase Thanoses in the main event. Or Ultra Chase Thanoses in the main event. Two with Thanos Copter, one on his own, which made top eight, I believe. Brad Milburn's top eight or top.
Yeah,
It was top 16 at least. Top eight.
I
Top
believe
eight.
Milburn was in the top eight with Delta Chase Thanos.
Yeah. And I guess if we want to talk about top eight, it was what was it? It was five theme. Yeah, five theme, three not theme. And I think all of those were all the themes cosmic. I'm pretty sure it was
Yes.
Thanos. Yeah, it was Thanos, Easton on cosmic.
Matty G was on Cosmic. Sorry, no, Soldier by PJ.
Oh yeah, PJ. Okay, so I think it was like let's say four cosmic, three on theme because Isaac was Kobik non theme. Patrick was obviously non theme, and I can't remember. That is my answer. I can't remember, but
That's
it
fair.
was. I want to say that's about the right amount of theme that we see these days.
Mm-hmm.
To just a lot, or maybe actually a little bit more on theme. But this is a very weird environment where retirement didn't happen. So obviously you had the opportunity to play Hawkeye and Vulture together one last time. You had the opportunity to play, I don't know, weirdness like Sam not on theme, like she unlike what she used to be. I watched so much Cheerio clips this week. I'm just trying to remember. Uh, there were a reasonable amount of teams that just completely survive rotation. Like Easton's team is completely surviving rotation.
Matty G's team completely survives
Yeah,
rotation.
basically, if you're cosmic, you're fine. Like I
Yep.
can't think of anything relevant that retires. It's cosmic.
And the only things the Soldier team. Oh no, Soldier team had Sam Cap. Never mind. I was gonna say it
Yeah.
doesn't lose much, but it loses Sam Cap and 2 Ameridroids. So
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like you could substitute with like Kirk. Jason Keane was also on. He was on a completely different soldier team. It was like Sam, Unseen, Kirk being carried by Coulson, obviously, Tank, Filler, whatever. So there's actually, it's not as much of an issue as we can't extrapolate what the meta looks like going forward, just because a lot of what was actually played retires. Like, I mean, yes, the winning team doesn't survive, but also like the fundamental idea of Vulture doing Vulture-y things is totally still a thing. So, still a thing to worry about.
So, carry on.
What else? But just in general, a lot of diversity, because of course there is. Like, nobody was gonna be lucky enough to go through the day undefeated. Actually, yeah, nobody went undefeated because Patrick lost a game in a round. He made it in as a 4-1. Easton lost to Mad. I mean, obviously, the winner won, but but nobody won all their games during the tournament, which is interesting now that I think about it.
Fair enough. I mean, that does mean that the 5-round cut to 32 out of 128 did actually work in the favor of WizKids on this one, as opposed to the 4 rounds cut to 16 out of 100 plus players from Worlds last year.
Let's not talk about that anymore.
Ultimately, it's one step towards improvement, and with them being able to run it in Tennessee on their own schedule, that's going to also happen again. So we're very likely to see enough rounds to enough of a cut. It's kind of what I'm getting at.
I mean, especially because WizKids managed to do the spillover to Sunday. Mm-hmm. Because otherwise, I would have been there till we would have been there past midnight otherwise.
Yeah.
I don't know how Origins works with that, but I need to sleep. Otherwise, I'm going to make all the wrong rulings in addition to the rulings I was already going to get wrong. So, yeah.
All right. So with that, as far as Kobik and Trader are concerned, when we were talking about them, we weren't as high on them on their own as a unit. But it turns out we have found a combination of figures that says, hey, Unimind, you don't get to play this game anymore. And I'm kind of a big fan of this.
I understand, but I also don't like the idea of an actual auto loss, like 100% auto loss.
Yeah, this.
But that's the thing. Like, you don't even need to roll dice on this team. You roll dice for initiative. You take away Power Cosmic, and even if they pick Perplexes for willpower, they don't have Power Cosmic, so you can outwit them. Like, you literally just push them Unimind to death. So, I don't know how I feel about that sort of thing being a thing.
For those less initiated, what I'm going to do is I've found a reason
to open HC Realms
to do that. So, with that, I want to help everybody kind of understand how this combination of things work. So I've actually brought up the Trader, Kobik, and the Cosmic Cube. These are the 3 important elements. There will also, in this combination, be an Infinity Gem. So kind of have to understand how that works. So let's start with looking at Kobik herself. Now, there will be other figures on this team. This is a requirement for this team. Otherwise, this entire combination of things doesn't really work the way you think it does. And it starts with the Rewrite Affiliations trait, which says free, choose both a friendly character and an opposing character with printed team abilities. Those characters can use the team abilities printed on the other character instead of their own printed team abilities until your next turn. So in the case of the Unimind, whatever else you have on your team, and one of the common figures that people were just taking team abilities from was Mr. Oz, if I remember correctly.
Easton had Suited Henchman, but...
Yeah, also an option. And what ends up happening is now Unimind no longer has Power Cosmic. Cool. All right. With that, then you use... Now, you also, when you pay for Kobik, you pay the 15 points to give her this Cosmic Cube. This Cosmic Cube has an effect. Free, choose one of the following. One of the following is place the character 3 squares away. It doesn't matter. This is not important for what we're doing. The next one is until your next turn, improve targeting, +2 range. Doesn't matter for this. The last one is what's important. Give an action token to an adjacent opposing character. If you can't, deal them 1 penetrating damage. That second part might come up, might not come up. More likely, it's the most important part. It's that first part. So here's how this works then with the Trader. Trader is 45 points. For 5 points, can bring any gem. I think Space Gem is a commonly used one with him in order to allow for carrying.
Mostly. Yeah, it's just also the least good one to give away if you're going to be trading with your opponent. So,
Yeah,
but of course you can pick every single game, so it doesn't matter.
yeah. And ultimately, what you do is with the trader, he's got the let's make a trade special power on his first 2 clicks. Free, choose an equipped character within 3 squares in line of fire. If trader is equipped and both equipments have equip any, those equipments are now equipped to the other character. So you're not using trader to equip with your opponent in the case of the Unimind lockdown. What you are doing is taking trader and saying, hey, Kobik, now that you're done with your Cosmic Cube, use Kobik to use the Cosmic Cube to give an action token to your Unimind. Now Trader says, free action, give me that Cosmic Cube, take the object that I have. Now I'm going to use a Cosmic Cube as a free action, give an action token to that Unimind. Now the Unimind can't do anything. Wash, rinse, repeat for multiple turns, and bathe and hydrate upon the tears of your enemy.
It's also worth noting that both the Kobik team ability trade thing and the Cosmic Cube give a token effect were ruled to bust immunity, person immunity. So there can be a situation where somebody does not get to interact at all outside of free actions.
Yeah. This is nuts. This is insane, and I love it. Because it takes one man. Okay, I love it and I hate it. I hate that one-man armies are not allowed to play anymore. I hate that. I do not like that. Because players do like to play that. They are hard to deal with as a player who doesn't personally play them and has to play against them. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, it's an option. And now you, as a one-man army player, are stuck in a lurch where you can't not deal with this. And it is really hard to actively, fundamentally deal with it.
I literally do not see how you can deal with it.
I mean, you have to get super lucky and kill Kobik in one shot.
Yeah, you have to roll. Yeah, Unimind does start with Precision Strike. You need to like pick Hypersonic, whatever. You need to go all the stats. Hope she doesn't roll Shape Change. Hope you don't. You do have Prob though. I think Unimind has Prob in that line because he's all pink powered except for Prob.
I believe.
So you're basically hoping that she doesn't get Shape Change, that she doesn't get senses on 6. She also had Prob against you, and yeah, you have one chance.
Right.
Or you hit Trader off the special power, which is actually probably better in that scenario.
Now,
but still,
yeah.
Then if you do that, you've come like basically halfway across the map at least. You have a token. They still have a Kobik with a cube, so you can be pushed on their turn, whatever, and you still have to play the game from there. But that gives you a chance to play the game.
Yeah. Ultimately, as well, you can. What this means is you can't play one-man army Unimind. You'll have to go back to 165-point Unimind and play a team around him. There is another thing that this team is a nightmare for, and it is that bad roll on Lockjaw. Remember that? Remember that? Oh, darn, I roll a 6. I hope he doesn't find a way to get an extra action token. When did it ever come up? Be honest. Never really came up, did it? Guess what, guys? Now it's going to come up. Oh, did your Lockjaw roll a 6? That's a shame. He's dead. 75 points for free. Now, ultimately, this does require 2 characters to fundamentally use. In addition to which, there are levels of ways around it. Collector does exist. Collector can knock objects off of these guys and then steal them.
I mean, yeah, but like,
because I know that was one of Easton's figure choices on his team. Yeah. Was the Collector.
I don't know how much people are going to be talking about it because he didn't win, but like, I love it. And I was trying to build around Collector, and I ended up there myself. And I'm just like, okay. I mean, he pretty much solved it because you have Kobik for all the shenanigans with her trait and the cube, or if you somehow don't need to boop 3 or poof 3, or give out random action tokens, or use all the improved targeting in the world, you have the Pick a Power Cube, which is super good because it's a thing that makes your opponent have to make decisions, which is just always good.
Yeah.
You have Collector to mess with objects. It has TK Perplex just on your force, which is kind of, but not, I mean, in a world where Kobik makes Lockjaw a problem, he basically fills in for Lockjaw. Unseen deals with Retaliators, Stealth Bust, or all the improved targeting at Wits and Probs. And then you just have random Cosmic Filler because Walking Woods are a thing. And then Suited Henchman does Suited Henchman things. But basically, all the shenanigans, good stats, good support powers, does pretty much everything. I absolutely love it, and I hope people talk about it enough because, I mean, you know.
Yeah. I do have to say personally, I was a fan of Matty G's version of the Kobik team because he had Kobik, Trader, and Astronomer and Mr. Oz. It was a more aggressive, fundamentally. Like there's more aggression potential out of it because Astronomer's an 11 range, which is bonkers.
Not that Macho Man cares about any range, but
Yeah.
that's another thing for another day.
I do want to definitely go over the Macho Man dial that was previewed at the fan event at some point, but I also want to take it in the context of I want to go back and look at my fantasy Macho Man dial and compare design choices that maybe they made to design choices I made because I feel like there's a lot in common with our thought process.
You also didn't get to account for them making completely new game mechanics, so
yeah, absolutely, and completely new powers. Worth noting, the WWE characters are going to have powers that look the same on as far as color scheme is concerned, but are going to be printed with circles instead of squares to represent a slightly different version of the green attack or the black movement, that kind of situation. So brace yourself for that, guys. There's going to be some weird stuff in the powers when you see them. So a circle green is not going to be super strength.
well, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I mean,
Go
ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, was there anything else to go over for NAS before we go on to other stuff?
Before we get our own little bit of excitement, as far as like from the outside looking in, it was a little bit of a shame that they didn't have a live stream. But I kind of understand that as Origin grows as a convention, I don't think they're increasing any sort of internet presence just yet.
Nope.
Not really a big focus. So as a result, WizKids is kind of stuck with whatever they have, and kind of getting that sort of portable internet presence is difficult. My understanding is, was there any kind of recording going on, and will there be eventually like videos shared?
Wes Summers recorded a couple games, including the final. Both top 4 were recorded. I think it comes down to like one top 8 final game, and then both top 4. If there might be more than that, but that's the ones that are for sure. Those will be up eventually, I suppose. I don't know.
Okay, just give me a second here. Things are happening in the world of the internet as things go on and on and on and get exciting. Speaking of which, I guess we could talk about our own little thing. That being, it's the day after U.S. Nationals. And now we finally, you guys can stop asking me, or you can actually start asking me.
Hey, Jason.
Hey, Jason, when's Canadian Nationals? Jason, when's Canadian Nationals? Hey, guess what, guys? It's here. We have an announcement. It's going to be the weekend of July 27th. So that'll be, let me just pull that up there. Saturday, July 27th, and Sunday, July 28th. This is going to happen in Montreal, Quebec, at the Hotel Europa, 1240 Drummond Street in Montreal. I'm going to warn you guys now. We've done the research, started booking our rooms and everything like that. This hotel is a little pricey, so do check the area for other ones. Personally,
also,
go ahead.
I was just saying, keep in mind when you're looking at the Facebook event, it says, because they ran the event through their Ottawa store, so it actually says Ottawa. So check for the address in the actual event description, not just whatever it says right at the top.
That's why I verbally gave the, like, if you look in the description, the details here, right here, 1240 Drummond Street, Montreal. That's where it's going to be, not at Carta Magica in Ottawa. What else? There's some more details. We have an event schedule. They're running 4 qualifiers. And it's going throughout the entirety of the day. So there's going to be a sealed qualifier at 9, constructor qualifier at 1, another sealed qualifier at 4, and another constructor qualifier at 6. And then the Sunday, everybody who's qualified for that is there. We don't have what placements qualify. Hopefully it's top half of each event like it's supposed to be this time. If you're in the sealed, it's $40 Canadian to enter. And so if you're in
American, for that was what, top half get box cons and then bottom half will get objects or something? Based on precedent.
Based on precedent, yes.
Yeah, and before anybody asks, as of now, I'm planning on playing and I'm actually qualified. Yeah. So don't ask me judge questions for this one.
As far as the extra qualifier events, they also have this note here. Due to many players requesting additional opportunities to qualify for nationals, we've been given the chance to host 2 additional qualifiers. However, for those events, we will be giving out store credit pricing. $10 per player will be thrown into the prize pool and distributed among the top half in both sealed qualifier 3 and construct qualifier 4. So don't expect to be handed con exclusives for the 3rd and 4th qualifiers. And you can use that store credit at the event for battle royales or any of the items that they have in the store. They will have con exclusives. They are not doing the pre-purchase this year. Thank goodness. You have to show up at 8 a.m. on the July 27th to get in there early to get your stuff. And new for this event will be was Static Shock available at US NES?
No, it was Dupe, Ghost Rider, Lobo, Magneto. What a 5th one? Is that 5?
Dupe, Batmobile, Ghost
Oh,
Rider.
Batmobile. That was the one I forgot.
Okay. And Lobo, right? So for this one, new will be Static Shock, the Spider-Verse duo Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy, and the Robin and the Batcycle, and the Robbie Reed Dial H for Hero Dial, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And the prices are here in Canadian on this event page. This event page that I am looking at is linked down below in the description.
I posted on a lot of major groups, so like check Clickstuff, check whatever.
We posted it on the Married with Clicks Facebook. We posted it in the Married with Clicks community group. It's out there, guys. It's available. This information is there. You can start booking now because you do not have much time, unfortunately. There's about a month and 10 days, so about 40 days, give or take. And that's probably being generous because we are at the 17th. So there's 13 days left in the month, plus the 26 days to, assume for travel. So there's about 39 days to go. Get on this.
Get on your playtesting with the new post-rotation meta. Yikes.
Yeah. That's the other thing. Start planning those post-rotation teams. Star Trek is supposed to be in July, correct?
No, it's July 24th.
Okay, so it won't be legal for this. Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So there's the event. There's some of the details.
The one you want? I think did you mention the limit of 1 per purchasable?
Oh, there is. Yeah, each of these purchasable con exclusives will be limited to 1 per person. They're in limited supply for this event.
Yes, you don't expect
32 of them
for everybody.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Unless you're bringing a friend who's not interested or has already got them all, don't plan on buying stacks of them. Yeah.
Are you excited?
I'm excited for a number of reasons. The first and most important, I know what it is now, which has been the information we've been waiting for forever. And this year, with the joint work with The Rock, the joint work trying to get all these different nationals, The Rock major events, and the new venue for Worlds together, it sounds like it's been a bit of a scheduling nightmare on WizKid's side. So I'm being very patient with this. So I'm overlooking the fact that we have 39 days to work with this. I am lucky I have a very generous company. They're very flexible as far as our days off are concerned. And I can now book all of my HeroClix travel I need for the rest of the year. So I'm happy now that this is all said and done. And I'm overlooking all the little bits. I'm glad I'm already pre-qualified. That means I can battle royale until I'm blind.
I don't know what I'll do that day, but I'll certainly have fun, whatever it is.
Excuse me. What else? Yeah, I mean, it's a good news day all around because that's just kind of improved my mood as far as my planning for the summer, because it's been difficult to get the sitter and everything like that, and that's kind of where I am sitting for that. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking at some of the teams I saw in at U.S. Nationals, and my brain juices are flowing. I've got all kinds of team ideas that I got to start deciding on and practicing on. Practice sessions will be open in my place for those of you who already know that I said come on over on Sundays. Oh no, how are you feeling there, Jay? You pumped for some Canadian national action? You ready to take it back for the old red and white?
I mean, I say that I'm going to play now, but who knows what happens? And I feel like there's still a possibility I could end up judging because I was asked last year a little closer to last minute, so I'm not going to guarantee that I'm going to try and take it back. But actually, now that I have the qualification, this is the first time I'll actually be playing in the actual event because I won 4 times. 2 times I've judged, and then the one, or 2 times I judged. One time, the first time I ended up getting knocked out in the last qualifier by somebody who was already qualified because of that whole stacking thing. Thank goodness that's not a thing anymore. And the other one, I just didn't get good. I don't think I had any play testing for that one. Or no, that was the one. That was the year that it was all sealed, and then sealed happened. But there's 2 constructed, 2 sealed, so yay. So I am pretty excited to actually get to theoretically play at the actual day of event, which I've been looking forward to. So we'll see what happens.
Hype.
Get that playtesting time in, try and see what happens at opens, if anything, because who knows how many are going to be sealed. Yikes. What an established meta we're going to have at the time. It's going to be bring your whole collection, see people are playing at the grinders, and then build accordingly. Or tweak accordingly, I guess. So
yeah, I'm still in the planning stage of am I confirmed for my teams that I'm considering building? What more am I going to have to require to help, accommodate others? Because a couple of the teams I'm considering might have some shared elements, so I gotta get some hands on some stuff. Those trade posts will be up tomorrow night. There may or may not be a photo shoot planned within the next day or two. Got to get laundry all planned and stuff like that. So it's an exciting time, and this is the most exciting time for me. Unfortunately, my trip to U.S. Nationals got kiboshed by a lot of unforeseen time off I had to take. And as
Canadian winter, huh?
What's that?
Canadian winter, huh?
Canadian winter actually came to Canada. It was weird, and like those I got to the point at work where I had 3 extra days off on top of my original allotment, and now I've got those gone from Canadian winter alone. Then kids who get sick because Amber's schedule is no longer, she stays home when the kids are sick because she's at home anyway. It's now she's gone by the time I've found out that the kid is sick. So guess who stays home? It's challenging, and I'm working around it. So it's my sob story. That's about it. But let's just kind of get refocused on U.S. Nationals as it is, and kind of the establishment of things. So with what we saw in the top 8, as you said, one team really kind of loses a lot of steam. 2 teams kind of. I mean, I think the Soldiers team could survive the cuts with just more focus on just being attacky. And the Vulture team, but the rest of the teams they survive. So it looks like rotation was pushed out before rotation to a certain degree, with the exception, of course, of Patrick's team, which won.
Yeah, the Budding team is, I mean, I guess it's equally as rotation affected as the Sam team, I guess you could say, because it's, I mean, the range is a big thing, just having the range value, whatever.
The top 8 we kind of talked to death. Throughout the Swiss rounds or throughout the entire tournament, did anything kind of catch your eye and go, huh, while you were observing the tournament? I mean, I know you're focused on checking rules and stuff, but
the Thanos, Brad Milburn's Thanos is one. I'm just looking at the top 32 sheet and trying to remember what people were actually playing.
Yep.
Yeah, there's so many teams. Nothing I'm seeing really jogs my memory of stuff popping out. Oh, wow, Patrick was 25th seed. That's funny. There was one team with a bunch of Shade the Changing girls, but I talked to the guy that was running it, and we both agreed that it was pretty much a gotcha team that doesn't get repeats because, once it shows up, it's like, oh, how do I figure and deal with that? Oh, you know what? I remember now. Brian Galley, not different pushing member. I don't know if he played it at the main event, But double Gardner, holy crap!
Yeah, I
He
heard
won
there
a
was
grinder with it. I'm not 100% sure if he played it at the main event, but he won a grinder with it. It was, what was it? Double grinder, Trader, possibly Voyager, or did the Trader just carry with the space gem? But either way, yikes! Make all the hindering, or let me just. I'm trying to remember let's go over what Gardner does before we go into it.
Yeah, let me
Right,
pull up
basically,
Gardner on HC.
he has a trait where he gets to make free hindering at the beginning of the turn, just as a thing because he plants his garden, make his garden monsters grow, and
grow.
and then he has a smoke cloud as well, and then has a special power where he can, what was it? Basically close attack anything. Yeah, close attack anything in one of his hindering markers, which I'm not actually sure if that'll combo with Nightbringer. If that combos with Nightbringer, oof. And basically, you make all this hindering, you clog up the map. I saw him playing on Hedge Maze, so good luck moving if you're not ignoring hindering. Make all the free attacks. You have 2 probs because each of the
Dawnbreaker, is that the one you're talking about?
What?
You said Nightbringer.
The one that has the free smoke cloud. Dawnbreaker is the Dark Knight, is the Green Lantern chase. Whatever, the one that has stealth, smoke cloud for free, whatever. But basically, yes, you have 2 probs. You have because the Gardener gets to use the time gem, and then you have Perplex on Trader, and Trader can do Trader annoying stuff because it's Trader. I don't actually remember what else was on the team, but seeing Gardener at all, that was quite something.
Nightshade. Is that the one you're talking about?
No.
Dude, like, you haven't said a correct name yet.
I'm
just trying to inform people, and you're talking fast.
That's going to be hard to find.
It's going to be even harder to find. Well, for one, Gardner is not in the HC Realms unit section.
Yeah,
so
neither are any
go through your post there.
Here, I'll have it in just a second.
Yeah. All right, so just to kind of reiterate what Gardner does.
It's Nightbringer.
Nightbringer?
Yes.
Is that
Nightbringer?
Is it in the new set?
It's one of the new con rings.
Oh, the Mandarin ring, the Nightbringer.
Yeah.
Oh.
The Nightbringer Mandarin ring, which has stealth, smoke cloud. Smoke cloud is free, but only generate 2 markers.
All right, there we
if
go.
You do that. Yeah. So then you have to pull up Gardner and see. I think it just says any of his placed hindering because he has 2 different sources of hindering. But can't possibly just be tied to the 1 power.
Gardner is a rare. I'm pulling him up right now.
Yeah.
Gotta hunt him down because he's not in the unit section yet. And I don't. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. Got him. All right. Bingo. Got him. So Gardner is bearer of the time gem. 5 points. You can get the gem. 45 points as well. He's also got his thing to get the extra 0th click. But watch my garden grow at the beginning of your turn. You may generate a hindering terrain marker in a square within range. And then my plants have a calming effect, or the opposite is if I desire. Smoke cloud. Free, make a close attack targeting an opposing character occupying a hindering terrain marker generated by Gardner, regardless of adjacency. If you do, choose that a hit character either can use or can't use Battle Fury to your next turn. So, like, if they're a range-focused guy, that means they can't attack. So it does look like, yes, Nightbringer. And Nightbringer, is it normal, full-blown, free Smoke Cloud?
You get stealth period. You get Smoke Cloud period, and then you can do the free 2 squares of it.
Oh, it's free 2 squares. Okay, cool. It's kind of like the old net from.
Yeah, exactly.
That's still.
When you're not using the time gem, but honestly, I mean, you already have Trader theoretically. I mean, it's cosmic. There's so much variety. You can do whatever the hell you want. Like, everything's cosmic now.
There's nothing wrong with the Gardner having time gem when it comes to prop.
I think prop is always good. Plus, I think it increases range, doesn't it?
Yeah, +1 range. So
that synergizes well with the hindering. Mm-hmm. Point being, that was a really cool team.
Yeah.
Pachine innovating is not new, but that was a cool one.
Yeah.
I'm looking up to top 46, and nothing is coming to mind, unfortunately. As far as just pure creativity, because there's just too many games to remember everything.
Well, I do know that there were enough single character Unimind for Emily and Tom to have a bit of a problem on her way up the ladder.
Yep.
I'm sure if they would have known about the Kobik Trader trick offhand, they probably would have considered that if they knew how many single Uniminds they're going to come. But then again, those Uniminds were bumped down by Kobiks, I'm sure.
It's funny because Trader was literally the last dial we got, so it was like kind of easy to miss it.
Yeah.
I mean, because it wasn't that good in Seal, like people were probably not even like thinking about it because there's just so much good Cosmic that it's like, well, this Trader dude, what does he do? Oh, I don't know, maybe at some point later, sort of thing.
It's one of those things when we're like, for us in particular, when we're talking about figures, we're talking about them in isolation. How good are they? And that's why I often say there's a team for this guy, but it's not an obvious team. Will kind of bring down their overall mark, but then if in conjunction with one specific figure, that takes that character to a new next level that we didn't consider because it wasn't obvious. Suffice to say, we're often wrong in our initial ratings of figures.
I'm going to use the excuse of I judge more often than I play, so I don't bother building. So that's on you.
Whoa, dude! I cold read this stuff. Okay, give me a break.
Yeah, it's funny when you actually are cold reading stuff. People are like, oh, he pronounced something wrong, or he didn't know what that did. Well, yeah, because he was opening it fresh, same as anybody else.
Like poor Scott has to take that. Scott Porter gets it before anybody has seen anything. He's like most of the time before previews have even come out, because there's a lot of editing work that goes into his. Amber and I have been blessed with the point that we're okay with exactly how much we flub or make fun of ourselves, and end up just not editing that stuff out. So Scott is a consummate professional, and his work gets worked on very well.
Yeah, I was going to mention Isaac's team, but it was top 8, so it's like, I mean, you should be checking out the top 8 at least. But I simultaneously really like the idea of giving the opposed, because he was basically, the main thing I want to go over is that he had Sheriff Strange and Kobik, which is good for a lot of reasons, because more shenanigans. No Theme is like fine, because I don't think anything on his team really cared about going first in particular. Like sort of like if he happened to have some random equipment, but that's kind of whatever. I guess you can get hit by Vulture, but that's a 50-50 and whatever. I'm sure he accounted for it. But basically, giving Mystics, it's the name of the game now is how do I Mangog without my opponent having any say in the matter, because you give your opponent Mystics with the Kobik effect, and then you get to Mangog them. I don't know how many times you actually managed to pull it off, but with Kobik's range. Actually, yeah, she can get up to an 11 range because she has 8 naturally, perplex, and can +2 herself with the cube thing. So you can really, I'm looking at her right now next to me. She's 11 speed. You can use that running shot inspiration off of that one bounty card. That's a pretty big swing. Just get that Mangog over there, sort of thing. As well as the fact that it makes playing the Mystics less bad because it's on your team. It's not as much of a liability as it would normally be.
Yeah. Oh no, you Mystics me. Whatever will I do? Oh, look, the big yellow thing is across the board on you now.
Yeah, I remember years ago, my friend Manny was playing basically the annoying Loki Faust shenanigans, and then played against PJ, and he intentionally took retail, and then it was like, oh, look, there's a brimstone here. Where'd that come from? Sort of thing. So
I did that to I was playing it was in the final at when I won with the Monsters against Cecil. He had a Blackbird team that included Darwin, and because my monster team had a goblin.
Oof.
I was like, all right, if this is how it's going to go down, this is how it's going to go down. I'm going to choose Invincible and Regeneration. And I was like, oh darn, I took a damage. All right, here comes my Surtur. Darwin was dead, and most of his entire team was just damaged after that. And it's just a matter of time.
That's a lot of damage. And then it's like, hey, you killed my Surtur? In other words, just chuck another Retaliator at him.
Yeah.
Don't even place Carnage on the map, just literally chuck it at him.
Yep. That was the thing. And Surtur kind of got to sit there, and he's like, I don't want to do this now. What do I do? And then he ended up being forced to kill the Surtur, and Groot came in, and then Groot brought a Walking Wood. It was just, I felt sorry for him just because like Darwin is such a good idea, but then I had a team was like, yeah, Darwin's a great idea. This stuff happens. You gotta be ready for it. Oh man, but yeah, I'm not gonna lie. My focus this year on Canadian Nationals is as much as I want to play a unique team. Me playing a unique team is part of a team that I started coming up with, and then realizing, hey, somebody did one element of it better at U.S. Nationals. So it was like, it's looking like a good idea, and just kind of deciding if one of those teams that's still kind of going to be standard is going to be the one that I decide to go with. I'm playing it safe this year. I do want to try to win. I'm not going to get my hopes up. That's for sure.
Well, because you're Canadian?
Yeah. I mean, for one, I'm Canadian. Two, I'm Jason Collins. So I'll do my damnedest and see where it goes from there.
Well, that's the thing. There's so many between Rock. There's Rock Online. There's all these Rock events. There's Opens. There's Rock Winter Maps like twice a week now, or every week. Like, you're gonna find somebody who solved the problem better than you did already, or you were so close and they just like did the one little thing you didn't think of, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Or even you're just gonna see a team that didn't even win, and you'll be like, oh wow, that's really cool, sort of thing. Like, I don't know.
Brutal honesty. In place of Trader, a lot of my teams I was looking at Gardner, but then they started to become cobbled messes, and I also considered Possessor at certain points too, just because Outwit. Does he bring Outwit? Yes,
he has Outwit himself.
Yeah.
I want to like Possessor, but I think he's just slightly too appropriately costed for competitive.
Yeah, that was a problem I was starting to run into. But then it was Matty G's team that made me go, I was close. I was just missing certain synergies, like Trader synergy.
Yeah, there's definitely tools out there to help you solve certain problems. Like if they can pull up whatever blocking map they want, but if you have a boxing ring and clear out 25 squares of blocking, you're probably fine.
I'm also trying to figure out the team that works with Eitri.
I still think I think he's a future consideration.
Yeah,
I don't blame you for trying.
What's that?
I definitely don't blame you. I don't blame you for trying.
I think right now I don't have enough time to try. If I had more than 40 days and a significant more practice time, I would probably be leaning towards him. But where I stand right now and the time and this is kind of part of where we're going with this, is like the amount of time that we have is very limited, and part of the practice work has been done when you look at the U.S. national teams, and then look at those and go, what can we do differently, and how can we change the way these are being played in certain ways? And that's kind of the direction I'm looking in this time around.
Yeah. When I was at Nationals, I was definitely trying to find the teams that I liked and try to watch as many of those games as possible. So I tried to get as much watching Easton as possible. And the problem is that I don't play perfectly like he does. So,
yep.
Yikes.
And that's the other thing. It's Easton has a neat little thing that I do find myself having at times, but other times I don't. And he's able to fully use everything on his team to its fullest. And it's like he doesn't, like, I think the only thing he wasn't using on Kobik would have been the replace a character trait. And even then,
I mean, to be fair, I thought about it, and it just right now, I don't even know how good it is, even if you can pull it off. And if you do want to pull it off, you're off theme. Yeah. Like, it's definitely something to be considered eventually. There's a lot of, there's going to be something cosmic.
Or the other thing is, like, you're way over points because there's one Thanos that's like 110 points, and then I don't think I would ever switch Ultra Chase Thanos for Helicopter Thanos because. What?
Anyway, well, you either have to go from 160 to 125 or 110 doesn't work.
Yeah. So.
But
I think Thanos was the closest I came.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But ultimately, yeah, there's the Ultra Chase Thanos guys. It made it. It made it to the top 8.
Yeah.
It's not a bad team. So brace yourselves for that, sons.
Yeah, I can assure you, given how much Tom loves the replacement effect on the teleporter, I assure you that whenever Kobik can work with that effect, Tom will be on it. We were talking about it yesterday.
Yeah, the other thing, like, she might have other. I remember she has like Thunderbolts and Hydra as well as
and Shield.
And Shield.
Yeah, there was actually a Shield theme with her and Sam Cap.
Interesting. Interesting. There's a number of Nick Furies I think you can work with that.
Actually, yeah, Kenji played the 100-point Nick Fury.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Although that was also with Sam Cap, so that kind of goes away. But I mean, Shield is relatively okay as far as named. Might see some more of it.
There's Iron Man with Shield, isn't there?
Yeah, he has it like half the time.
There we go. Throw a bunch of Iron Men. Like ultimately, if you wanted to, don't force it. I think is the point. I don't think that power is really figured into Kobik's cost.
No, I do feel like it's kind of just whatever.
Yeah.
There you go. Have a thing. Mm-hmm. Have a free thing. It's ever gonna, and it's a power action too. It's kind of like, yeah.
I think most of her cost is in her Cosmic Cube ability and in the switching team abilities thing. I think those are the meat of what becomes of her. So.
Oh God, I just feel. Oh no.
What's up?
This is gonna be something so stupid. If you play the title character Carol Danvers Fearless, she can replace herself with one of basically, essentially two different versions of Captain Marvel. And then from there, you can use Kobik on top of that. So, like, if she's hurting, you could turn her into Captain Marvel. Actually, wait, does that work? Assuming it works.
The one that you're replacing has to be on click 1, I think, doesn't it?
No, it's just a replacement. Whatever. My point is, you can turn Carol into either the 150 point or the 100-point one, and then from there, you can use Kobik to turn into the Ultra Chase. And then it's like, hey, you remember all those standard characters you killed? If I actually manage to get this revive off, I'm not going to. But I love it. I love how fun that team was.
So Kobik is once per game choose an adjacent friendly character on their starting line, and a character on your sideline with the same name.
Is it starting clock? Oh darn, darn.
So like it's literally a power action better suited.
It will be useful eventually. That is for sure.
Yeah. It's going to be one of those situations where it's going to be everybody's saying, "Hey, Iron Man doesn't have shifting focus." Well, kind of does. Kind of does.
There's Captain America, at least one Captain America with Shield, the shifting focus version. So, could definitely make that work.
He's shifting focus Captain America. You're gonna replace him with Kobik.
That's funny.
You know what? I don't like any of the shifting focused ones. Let's find one of these other Captain Americas that's going to work. Maybe he's going to do a better job than these three.
Honestly, though, depending on the matchup, Earth-X can be really useful.
That's a fair point. That's are you talking about the title character or the other one?
I mean, the title character doesn't work for multiple reasons, but I did mean the con.
Cool. Yeah, and then dropping action tokens off of people across the board.
Oh
man, I liked it on bystander. I liked it on my Earth-X bystander token team, and then Vulture came out.
Yeah, I like the dynamic nature of it, especially because that other cube is really cool. Like, I don't know. I think Matty G used the second cube once. Otherwise, it's blue cube all the way. But that pick of power is super theoretically good. So,
did you catch how infrequently Astronomer was given the power gem?
I literally did not watch any of Matty G's anything. I'm sorry.
Matty G, if you're listening, holla at me. Because I just want to know how frequently you did it. Because that Astronomer feels like a shoe-in for the power gem.
11 I don't know what match you would possibly have where you don't use that gem.
Right? It's 11 range with range combat expert. He's already got prob, give him +1 damage. On a team with Trader and Kobik, it's like... I'm going to lock this guy. It's like watching the two bullies hold one guy while the other guy just starts pounding on him. I lived through a tribal childhood. But yeah, it's the Cosmic team does look fundamentally ruthless and way more potent than I could ever give it credit for. And I'm becoming a believer in it, to say the least. So I might.
You're just a little late there. Just a little.
I mean, the thing is, it took an interesting Cosmic team. Unimind Lockjaw was not interesting.
That's fair.
Captain Marvel Ultra Chase was not interesting. But this current one where there's like a lot more option and a lot less like I'm unkillable and more combination tactical focus. I think that feels a little bit more up my alley than those other ones did. To be that's just kind of Jason's problem 101. So we'll see. All right. On that note, before we move to questions, Jay, do you have anything you want to add to the show?
Besides more Kobuk shenanigans, no.
Boy, I want to start looking at all the I'm not gonna lie, I was really plussed on Kobuk on after the sealed, but then I don't know, I felt the negativity from you guys and kind of brought it down. But now I'm back up there. I was like, yes, I'm back in this. I'm so happy I pulled her at the pre-release.
If I recall correctly, I was always like, this is going to be good at some point. I don't think I dismissed it outright as much as just...
Yeah, but at some point it assumes later, not now. Anyway, I do want to take a second to thank our patrons over at patreon.com/MarriedWithClicks. If you do want to support us in some way, shape, or form, check us out. And $5 patrons and up, if you're watching right now, the lines are open. Come on in and ask your questions directly if you so desire. With that said, let's find some questions. Oh my God. Facebook, why do you suck so much right now? It's I do 1,000 things on my computer and I blame Facebook, right? It's definitely Facebook's problem. Also, probably helps if I actually have the questions page open, right? As far as finding a list for the top 8, or even the top 32 of U.S. Nats, I believe the Clicked Off Facebook discussion had it. I don't know. Jay, do you know where it might have found its way?
So what was the question?
Where the team list for either the top 32 or the top 8 for U.S. Nationals might be found.
I think that was on Majestics.
What's that?
I'm pretty sure PJ uploaded that to Majestics' Facebook page.
There we go. Majestics page.
I mean, it should be pretty much everywhere at this point, but yeah.
Oh, awesome. That information is out there. I know I got it in a WhatsApp chat, but that WhatsApp chat has become a conversation about hotel rooms, so I don't know how useful it will be for me to dig through that. Might take me a couple hours. If you ever watch a Facebook chat or a phone conversation that you've been having all day and then try to go back and find something specific, it's a hot mess. I'm delaying and I'm trying to vamp my way through the slow load times on Facebook. I swear I'm sorry, guys. This is the worst because there's questions on Facebook. I know that. I know this for sure. Just not on our fan page. Check us out at facebook.com/marriedwithclicks. It's our fan page. That's where you'll find regular updates. Where we'll post, when we're having things, pictures, nonsense from the field. Also check out our community page, the facebook.com/groups/marriedwithclicks community group. Even though it says requests to join in, as long as I can tell that you're not a bot, which is pretty simple for me to do, I will always click approve. All right, here we go. So the first question, coming from Andrew Fairweather: did anyone play anything completely unique at U.S. Nationals? Jay, you'd have a better idea of this than I would.
I think we basically already went over that.
We did go over the fact that a good portion of the top 8 had teams that were. It depends on how far back you consider unique. Is unique from this weekend, or is unique from a week before this weekend? It's generally hard to say, but I would say the second place team was pretty unique in function, being Easton's team along with Isaac's team. I feel the Kobuk teams were unique in their own sense, but then PJ's team, though played before by himself and Tom, is his own unique little monster. And then, of course, Brad Milburn's Ultra Chase Thanos team got to the top 8, man. Can't poo-poo that.
Yeah, I don't actually know if any two Kobuk teams were the same. I'm thinking there was the Shield one, there was Isaac, there was Paris, Easton. That's 4. That's 4 completely ones already. Matty G had another. Yeah, it's 5 really different ones. So
and that Kobuk is one function. Kobuk Trader is one function of the team, and then the rest can do astronomically large numbers of things still. Like you get a lot of options out of even a small amount of points on that team. So there's a lot of uniqueness in the Kobik builds themselves, and you just kind of have to look at what you want Kobik to be doing for you. Focus that. Make sure you can do what you want to do, and add the 1-2 punch towards the end to either fill in spaces in what you're doing, or add extra oomph, as it were.
Yeah, I mean, Kobik is just awesome to me just because it becomes a team that justifies having the all-new Wolverine ID on it. So, that is reason enough for me to play any piece.
Next up, Michael Fedor, the Alpha patron. And like I said, I say often, probably the Omega one as well. I didn't see any photos of future sets on display from people I know who went there. Was I not looking in the right places? Did they not have a glass display like when I was there? There most certainly were pictures coming from the glass display. There were figures without bases of the X-Men animated series.
Mm-hmm.
There was the sealed boxes of Star Trek: The Next Generation, which later got opened and played in some battle royales.
That set, okay, so every dial I think is fun. A lot of those, I don't know if they're like super S tier competitive, but like a good half of them I was actually thinking about playing just in general.
Mm-hmm.
And, or they were just plain fun. And, okay, let me say this.
Shut up, Wesley.
Those dials, that too. Oh.
Sorry, carry on.
Let me know when you're done.
I'm done.
This set is looking so good that it actually got me to start watching the show. So.
Yeah. I feel the need to rewatch a few episodes. I did, like, Next Generation was my jam, my Jimmy Jams, but there's a couple of episodes I do have to kind of revisit. Today I was actually, there's a Legal Eagle is a YouTube channel I watch, and it's a lawyer who goes through various, like, sometimes it's fictional, sometimes it's real life stuff, but he kind of, from the point of view of a lawyer, and one of the things he talked about was the episode of Star Trek: Next Generation where they have the big conversation as to whether or not Data is property or sentient.
Oh,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good episode. I had a high school philosophy class that we went over that episode with. It's really, really good. Really good episode that talks about like the idea of sentience in artificial intelligence and what do we consider to be consciousness and sentience.
Plus, it came from machine learning. Yeah.
Yeah. Data is a good example of the Turing test being passed. All right.
Oh, they also had Regenesis stuff in the.
That's right. Yeah.
Also got the Scott Porter unboxing this week, or that past week. So that was fun.
Yep. Also, there was an announcement made during the weekend that there will be unpainted Regenesis figures. So this is why they are actually the Switch Clicks. We found out you can pull off the Switch Click version on the yellow or blue base and put your own hand painted version from the unpainted figure on top of that. So
yeah, and the unpainted ones actually come with new dials, so that'll be fun.
Oh, cool! Like
I think they were like $5 US, I believe.
Oh, that's really reasonable.
I mean, that's just a rare on the secondary market a lot of the time, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Well, plus the other sets that we saw, I don't understand what the hell we're gonna get out of a microphone singing Batman, but I'm looking forward to it nonetheless.
Bro, go watch the episode. You'll understand.
No.
He gets what he wants from that song.
That could be too meta. Also, you know what? I really hope. I hope Immortal Hulk isn't so good that it just ruins the dial for me. It ruins the idea for me, because if that's too don't die techie meta, they'll be like, oh, this is so cool. Kind of like the Hawkeye, because that was an amazing comic run. But then it's like, oh, this Hawkeye. All I'm thinking about is the HeroClix meta sort of thing. So
yeah, and the Immortal Hulk right now is the best thing in comic books. Oh my god, it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is it's probably one of the best Hulk stories I've read in a while. Short of the Bruce Jones run I think is underrated because the end sucked. But then Peter David's run after that was pretty amazing, and of course we can't deny Planet Hulk, World War Hulk. Great combination of stories. I was
And
gonna
also, PS4 Spider-Man is going to be a thing apparently.
Was that not in the like that costume wasn't a comic book?
I think they added him to comics afterwards. He
Okay,
should have been Spider-Verse or whatever Spider-Verse equivalent is going on more recently.
fair enough.
We saw they made it a point in the presentation to point out that we were getting the Justice League Unlimited Martian Manhunter this time, which is like, thanks, you know, thanks, I guess.
Well, I mean, Justice League Martian Manhunter wasn't included in a set that included like the Trinity and Flash, which as a subset. Oh, sorry, and Zatanna. I think those were the five.
Yeah, it was basically. I mean, we got Hawkman, who was never really a thing in the show, but that was a jumping off point from the Champ dial, and then we didn't get a solo Hawkgirl dial, and then yeah, we got Zatanna, but that was the only other extra as far as the original 7 go.
Mhm.
And we're getting more Trouble Alerts because that is a. You know
Well,
what?
let's not jump on the Trouble Alert train just yet, because these are the bad guys. Do we know that they run on the Trouble Alert functionality, or are they the bad guys and they show up on the third hit?
I'm 99% sure I remember somebody asking specifically there be more Trouble Alerts, and Scott said yes.
All right, because I don't know if it's the bad guy. I feel like it should function on the opposite.
One of them,
sense.
no, Sam. What was the one? The slide had Brainiac, Black Manta, and then I think it was Samurai. Yeah.
It was 3 of the from the Super Friends show of the Injustice, not Injustice, Injustice League or Legion of Supervillains.
Legion of Doom.
Legion of Doom, that's what they're called. Yeah. So I'm doing my best to try to find the slides.
You know
With the...
You know what they had? One of the characters we're getting is apparently the random. Was it a nurse or a doctor? Like the random woman from the random Booster Gold episode. Like, what? Like, I love the idea of getting obscure characters, but like, what?
Well, this is the other thing too. Is the Justice. If you watch the Justice League Unlimited animated series, that was an animated series full of obscure characters. Like it was.
I mean, probably pretty much every superhero or every DC superhero is at least one frame of that show.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Even
You
like
have
just
great
the
shots,
opening.
and then there's like one scene where you see Stargirl like hanging around with whatever, and like you see sand for literally one frame. He's
Yep.
never in the show again.
Did you need more?
That's all he deserves, I guess. Whatever. Screw him. I don't like him anyway.
Oh my god. Facebook, why do you anger me so today?
Yeah, this has gone beyond vamping at this point.
I was just trying to pull up Macho Man. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah.
Macho Man.
I was originally going to hold it off, but I have to. I have to
Macho
pull
Man says, "What's pulse wave?"
it. All the wrestlers say, "What's range? What is range?"
What is this range value you speak of? Why do we not have 0? There's no range. I guess you can pick up a light object. Yeah, what's that? You can't. So wait, in wrestling, you can't throw a chair.
Right? Like that was how many entrances have been interrupted?
I still love the Rock sound of the microphone because, of course, I mean you have to. That was just his thing.
Oh yeah. Here it is. I had a conversation with PJ. He had some really good pictures of it. So I'm going to crack these open. In the meantime, Jay Kramer, 83, thank you very much for the super chat. Much appreciated. Although there wasn't a question attached to it, which is weird.
Free money is good.
Yeah. All right. Let me just. Come on. Okay. All right, this will have to do. Okay, so they're introducing a bunch of new stuff for the WWE, new abilities that are just very different, and they all kind of come. A lot of them come with the WWE team ability, but others will be packaged into powers. So the first one is WWE rules. This character can't beat the target of range attacks or outwit if they're on click 1. They're on a click with an orange click number, or they've already been targeted by a range attack this turn, protected pulse wave. So if you're going to make a range attack against wrestling guys, you get one shot at it. The next is the Grand Entrance. During your first turn, if this character is in your starting area, they have free move. The WWE team ability gives the WWE rules, which is the first one I read. The Grand Entrance ability, it's uncopyable, and it gives bounce and pin. All right, now let's see if I can get bounce and pin to appear here. Bounce. This character treats printed hindering terrain and printed blocking terrain as ropes. You can bounce enemies off of them and fully use flying leap if adjacent to two or more of them.
Half of that doesn't make sense yet, but it will.
Exactly. It will in the future. Then there's the pin ability, bounce and pin comes with WWE team ability. And, sorry. Pin, free, choose an adjacent opposing character that's on an orange click number, and this character... And that this character hit with their signature move this turn. You both roll a d6, and if your result is higher, deal the character 1 penetrating damage and repeat this process. If your opponent rolls a 6, kick out, that character heals 1 click. So these are a little bit weird, but the idea is 1, 2, 3, you're down. Though the ref might get a little bit more of a count on like a Unimind.
Apparently, you can just pick a power of those as normal. Like, that's just the thing you have access to, so Longshot could actually pin.
Pin was one of the abilities, though.
Whatever. Well, I can't remember all the names of the powers.
There would be other powers which I haven't listed. These aren't the colored powers. These are the abilities that come with the WWE team ability. I know the ones you're talking about, the ones that will be the circle ones that I haven't been able to find, and we're going to talk about probably more in depth next week. More in depth next week when we go through the whole Macho Man dial and then compare it to my Macho Man dial.
Watchout can pick the power of the one that if you can make a free attack if they missed you or some nonsense like.
Oh, that was counterattack or something like that. Yeah, no, I know the one you're talking about.
I don't know the name. It's literally just came out on was it Saturday or no Friday night?
Reversal. That's what it's called. Reversal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it was.
And now Kobik, if you pick Kobik at the orange. Do you remember what slot that was? Was it attack? I feel like it would have been attack.
Reversal was a green circle attack.
Okay, so keep in mind, pick a power Cosmic Cube. Kobik is going to start doing that. That's going to be silly,
dude. The fact that this WWE team ability makes them close combat worthy. Oh, it speaks to my heart. I love it.
I'm a little concerned about adding even more complexity to the game, but I mean, you're not because it's a license that you happen to like. No. But
I'm just looking forward to Kobik taking or letting my wrestler go free action move. Then Kobik says, "Okay, wrestling team ability. Let's switch that with whatever this other character has. Now you take a free action move."
Oh God. Or no, even better, if you're playing against them, because that ability breaks immunity. So you give it to your dude, and then they don't even get to use it at all. Oh. It was funny, because everybody was like, oh, Kobik's going to go because of WWE, and then it was like, but then everybody played her anyway, so it's like...
Kobik is already good, guys. Get wrecked.
Man.
All right, let's move back into the questions in the chat now. And the first one comes from Ricky Yell. What did you think about the Hulk, Korath, Wasp, Heart of the Avengers, and the Skull team that was one of the 4 teams that went undefeated in Swiss?
I don't. It's so reliant on so many factors. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't know if he was just that lucky or if he just somehow managed to account for certain bad matchups or whatever. But like, I mean, obviously, infinite attacking is good. Like, there's no world where making infinite attacks is bad. You're in the infinite attack meta, apparently. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like certain things can go really wrong, such as a map roll, getting alpha, whatever. But managed to go undefeated, so I don't know what I'm talking about. So
it's all right, bud. All right. We got to the list of top. Okay. Could you use both free smoke from Gardner and Nightbringer free smoke? Gardner doesn't have his own free smoke, but he has the ability to create a hindering terrain at the beginning of the turn. So, yes, you could do that and then use a free smoke cloud from Nightbringer. So you could, yes, ideally create 3 hindering terrain markers with ease. hope that answers the question directly. Yes, Ricky yells, Sabu does throw chairs, but I don't think Sabu's on the WWE license anymore. His
Jumping
older
on
stuff
with
might
that.
be. But I don't think I don't foresee Sabu WWE stuff with him being an Impact right now. Little wrestling insider talk. Deal with it. All right, Jay, are you ready to send off for the night?
I don't know how this episode was so short. I feel like it went on forever, but yeah, you're ready.
All
Oh
right.
man, it's gonna be the last one for like. Yeah, I'll be back like the 6th of August or something like that, depending on if there's a random Canada Day, a random statue, or no, I don't know. But yeah, this might be it for a while.
Canada Day is the only holiday between now and then. I think Civic Holiday falls in around then.
I don't
But
know.
I
We'll
think that
see.
Civic Holiday is actually on the day that you're back. Another question found. It's there. How is Kobik being used? Okay, so we explained it actually, Paul, earlier in the episode. This is Paul from Paul Growth in the chat. But roughly, Kobik used in conjunction with the Trader, you can actually full blown lock down characters with double action tokens, and then if you have another character with team abilities, you can turn off, say, like Power Cosmic on a guy and start pushing dudes that would have a otherwise hard time being pushed. So
Yeah, I mean, Kobe does like 20 other things, but that's
yeah, that's one of many things. She's also got Perplex and Prob, a huge defense, and other options on that Cosmic Cube. Should you so desire to use that in a different way. So
yeah, like the boop ability or the free movement can basically mean you can autoproof any ID card, no matter how little of a swing they have,
yeah,
most of the time. But also, you can just carry her.
yeah,
Mind control on Dial basically, I don't know if it necessarily won East in the matchup against Tyler, but it made it viable because mind control dudes to kill other retaliators and whatever. So you know,
yep,
the one thing that scares me about Copic is that a random lucky Wolverine can one shot her, but I think you can play around it. But
yeah.
also 20 defense prob dual rollouts, all on her own. Real good. And if you somehow don't think you're going to use the +2 range, improved targeting, elevated hindering, or the free teleport thingy, or the token ability, I don't know what you're playing against, but none of those are useful. You still have the option of the other cube, which has it's what your opponent picks a slot or whatever of one of speed, attack, defense, damage to give you a +1. And then you get pick a power for the one that they didn't pick. So
And the one that they did pick gets a +1 to that stat.
yeah. So that's like the worst kind of decision making your opponent's ever going to have to do.
Yeah. And because she's cosmic, she keeps that Cosmic Cube. Emily, we still got to talk about that Red Skull. We're going to have a financial conversation, methinks, about it. All right. Jay, going to miss you until August.
No, you're not.
I am. Who am I supposed to pick on with you gone?
I mean, who are you going to have on the show?
Shh. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. With that said, I want to take a second to thank our sponsors over at MajesticCCG.com/Apex-Insiders. Gets you a $3 a month subscription that gives you brain dumps from some of the greats in the game, including 4 of the players that Patrick Fraser had to make his way through in order to get to the top of this tournament. Man, that guy had an uphill climb in the top 8. Such Apex insiders as Daniel Powell, PJ Bolin, like, oh my god, and Easton Brock. Like, that's a who's who of hero clixers. Oh man, such power that he had to overcome, and he managed to do it. But those are smart guys that are contributors to the site, and some wacky guys occasionally, ever so often, put in their own stuff. I don't know, whatever. But check it out, MajesticCCG.com for everything HeroClix. As well, I want to thank our patrons over patreon.com/RadioClicks. Check out the any value that you're interested in. $1, $5, $10. There's something for you at each of those valuations, including anybody who is a patron gets access to our patron Discord as well as our patron hangout. Our next patron hangout being July 7th. So keep your eyes on the calendar for that, patrons or those who are interested in becoming a patron. And guys, if you're Canadian or you're coming to Canadian Nationals, tick, tick, tick. It's time to get those team ideas on the maps and playing. It's time to get some practice because practice is going to make your team better. Canadians, let's try to take this back. Canadian Nationals is around the corner, literally. Good luck, guys. Practice will make your team better. Have a good night.